G'day, I'm David G, Sheshnag Yoga Center. What on earth is Kundalini? Sheshnag.com. This video is about my biggest lesson and the pain of being human. For 20 years I've been studying the spiritual side of life. It's helped me understand myself in relation to myself and everything around me. I've endorsed the yogic philosophy and the Sanskrit alphabet as the modality of choice to do with Tantra, and the philosophy to do with Shiva and Shakti, deep within the yogic philosophy. Recently I called someone into my life through the law of attraction. I know that I've been able to manifest things at will and merely have to think about things for them to happen. Basically, I wrote a list of 4 things. One was to heighten my senses. One was to feel divinity. One was to experience energy sensually. And one was to experience the deep mind. Be warned, if you do write a list and you do manifest things, write a very specific list. Anyway, they're the 4 things on the list. Little did I know that in my deep mind, which is not so much the deep spiritual part, the deep mind is in the conscious part. The part of me that's freely expressive and freely embracive. Freely embracing even. It's a new word, embracive. Anyway. I'm a sort of relationship sort of person. I've always liked being close to one person in a monogamous situation. But through the pain of the past, what I've seen is putting faith in others. I've created a lack of faith in both myself and others through the pain that I've experienced. So then I've decided to hide from the world. I've been addicted to drugs. I've investigated the spirit to no end, and this has allowed me to focus on the spiritual side of life. I've invited someone into my life to become a bit more human. I always talk about being human, but my being human wasn't that feeling sort of human. It was more of a knowing sort of human. Now I've come to the point where my feelings I've appreciated have been blocked. They've been inhibited through the past, through the pain that I've brought upon myself by the experience of other people. So now I've ventured into the deeper mind. There's so much darkness, there's so much wounding around what I express and what I allow into my life and what I am void of feeling. It's almost like I'm detached from the body through the desire to escape pain. At one stage I was right into the body, right into the creation aspect, trying to control everything. Next thing it fell on its ass, and next thing I'm avoiding everything to do with any control or anything to do with any chance of pain. A few eons later, I create an opportunity where a gracious being comes into my life so I can relate on a tantric level, on a sensual level, be able to experience all there is. Next thing I'm shit scared because most of my life I spent sexually focused and stoned. So now I'm straight and I have to go into an experience of being sensual as a human, as a 40-something male. I'm actually really confronted by the experience of being able to feel, being able to express myself emotionally. I think it's a chronological thing. I'm not too sure. I'm just opening up and showing you that you can have all the knowledge in the world, but ultimately I've got a little bit of fear to do with actually being human and being a sensual human at that. It's like it's contrary to my innate constitution of being intuitive and light by nature, but it's not really. It's just this part of me. And I say just so I can try and justify that part of me that is void of feelings, void of being embodied, not allow myself to be close to anyone, and if I am close to anyone, I let them in on my terms rather than expose all my vulnerability. It's the experience of love, but first I have to love myself. I have to work through the vibrations in my subconscious mind to be able to come to terms with what inhibits me in the opportunity of a healthy, functional experience of life, what I bring within the psyche of the subconscious to do with the experience and the expression that I consciously recreate and perpetuate through that programming on a subconscious level that seems to dominate. I rhyme that for the rhymers out there. Seems to dominate my everyday life. I want to step back. I want to be conscious. I don't want to be governed by the subconscious. How do I do that? I've got to go deep into my mind. Got to be able to not react. Got to be able to know when my lower self is expressing itself at the expense of harmony in my higher self. Got to come back to the present moment, live in the spirit, be that pure being that just lets things happen. Don't, or try my best to be open to the experiences of life, be open to my creation, work on a level that is heightened sensually, can feel the energy that's been blocked in my body for a long time. Also, I've got obligations and I'm building a temple dedicated to yoga and the Sanskrit alphabet, so hopefully that'll come to fruition soon, so I can actually experience more of being human, as I think it's perfectly timed for me to be able to connect to other humans, both one-on-one in a beautiful relationship I've created, and have the divine opportunity to embellish, and also be able to be more human and be more compassionate and expressive through a connection of that basic line that is written in Sanskrit that everyone says, Namaste, which means, comes from two words, nam and aste. Aste is a locative, means in being or in you. Nam is salutations. Salutations to the being in you on a spiritual level. So trying to see the soul of other people, trying to connect with them. I've spent 20 years avoiding eye contact. What have I been doing that for? Because I'm not the connection sort of person, I'm the knowledge sort of person. Welcome to the new world, Omji. Good luck. There we go. I'm going to go for connection. Ooh. Maybe experience instead of knowledge. Oh, my heart doesn't want to feel it, but I'm going to try. Give it a crack. It's a bit of a long video, just from the heart. Ooh, that's sort of trying to come out. No worries. Om Devaji, Sheshnag Yoga Center. What on earth is Kundalini? Good question, Omji. Om Namah Shivaya, Har Har Mahadev. You can subscribe, donate, help us out. Doesn't matter if you don't. Share the world, share the knowledge. Peace.